All right, ma'am, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead.
Brothers. They are a pain, and I would know, because I have 3 of them. But they aren't always a pain. In fact, they can make great best friends. Isaiah and I, which is my older brother, were really close when we were younger, until we became older, and our friendship started to slowly change. Growing up with siblings can be a lot of fun, but when we get older, and due to age gaps, relationships with siblings begin to fall apart. Growing up in the small town of Emma, no one really had friends, for there was no one else that lived around us, so we really wanted to be our best friends. I was mainly closer to my older brother, not because he lived with me, but for the longest time it was just us 2 in my house, and I didn't have any friends in Emma. Like I said, it was a small town, so we mainly just stuck together and hung out for the majority of my childhood. When I was little, we learned a lot about each other. As Wood talked about nonverbal skills, we learned to communicate more non-verbally than we did verbally, more because we were younger and we could just point at each other or use our nonverbal skills to talk to each other. He also taught, not only did my parents teach me how to portray my manners, but my brother did also. He taught me how I was supposed to talk to my parents just by looking at him and how he had conversations with them. And he also portrayed the manners, taught me how the manner that I was supposed to portray with my family. And also he showed me the symbols, which is also defined by Wood, that we use in our family, such as we nod our head a lot, know that we're engaged in a conversation, or if my mom asks us as a yes or no question, we usually nod our head yes or no, in that kind of way. Having 2 younger siblings did not change the fact that I was closer to Isaiah. You could say that we formed a more close homeostasis friendship, which Wood also points out in her book, but as she said, it's always changing, but our routine, you could say, was practically the same. We went to school at the same time, we came home, we would usually do our homework at the same time, eat at the same time, then we'd find time to read or play together, and then we'd go to bed at pretty much the same time, so our routine was the same, so we just ended up doing our routine together. And we also shared a lot of secrets with each other, little kid secrets, oh, I stole this person's snack at school, but don't tell mom, in that kind of way. And we also come to each other for problems, which is really nice. I liked having an older brother to go to if I had a problem with someone. He knew how to work that out more because he was more experienced in that kind of aspect. And he also would share a bed with me because he was scared of sleeping alone. So I had a bigger bed, so we slept together, which is kind of nice to have an older brother there to sleep with me. And then we showed the more we got to know each other, we could just communicate through symbols, which also Wood points out in her book, by if we were sitting with my mom and she was telling a boring story, we could look at each other and be okay, someone needs to get her distracted so she can stop talking about this point. It was not until my fifth grade year that we had started to grow apart more. I realized that when I was growing up, Isaiah was growing up too. So when I was in 5th grade, he was in high school, and he was treated differently, and he had more privileges than I was able to have. And especially when he began to drive, he got to go out and hang out with friends while I was at home, maybe with my family members, because I didn't have a car or friends that I could, my mom didn't let us hang out with friends when we were that age. He also got to watch different movies than I got to watch, so if he was watching a movie with his friends, I wasn't able to go and watch with them because it wasn't rated for me. And whenever we became older, our communication died down because we had different social groups, and because I was a girl, I wanted to hang out with more of the girls, and he was a guy, so he hung out with more of his guy friends. And our perceptions started to change, which Wood also identifies in her book. He pointed out different things in a conversation than I did, and just in ways that we didn't see eye to eye in conversations, or just in life in general. We didn't see things eye to eye like we used to. And even though we had grown apart, our communication with others didn't really change. Explained by Wood, our interpersonal communications, I've stayed the same. Like, I would talk the same way with my friends as I did Isaiah, or I would tell my problems and my life stories to my friends the same way I did Isaiah. And even though we were not close anymore, and he wasn't really technically my best friend anymore, he was still my older brother, so it was nice to know that I could still come to him for everything. But it was sad also to know that we didn't communicate as much as we used to when we were younger. And then again in my 7th grade year, it changed even more because Isaiah was leaving for college, and it wasn't like he was going to Missouri. He left for college for Texas, so that changed everything. I was very, very sad and depressed he was leaving, but like I knew that we could still communicate. I just knew it wasn't going to be as much. And our verbal communication, which tells us about in our book that we wouldn't be able to talk to each other in person, and we wouldn't be able to know what other people were feeling, like how we were feeling or how our day was, because we just weren't around with each other. When he left for school, there wasn't a sibling I was able to talk to, so I started getting closer to Luke for our age difference was closer than it was for me and Sam. And we became closer, and we both had something in common. We missed Isaiah a lot. When Isaiah did come home, his change in communication was different. I could tell. Our environments are different, as would labels in our book, that he was in Texas and I was in Missouri, so like his slang and our slang was different. Like he would say y'all, or like just have a heavier accent, like a Texan accent, and like here I was like, what are you talking about? We say you all, not y'all. It was just funny to hear his like different way of communicating with his friends he kind of used when he came back home. Even though we were separated, we began to become new people, and thanks to each other we learned how to communicate with others and like have a better understanding of our people and how they were feeling, because we understood each other's feelings, and like I understand what a guy would be feeling in different situations. So when I became closer with guys because I just knew how they understood like feelings, just because I had an older brother. And as you can tell, Isaiah and I were close, but because of the way our communications changed, our friendship slowly died down. Growing up with siblings can be a lot of fun, but when we get older, and due to lack of communication, relationships with siblings fall apart. From this day, I greatly appreciate God giving me the best brother ever, Isaiah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Megan.